mathematics. I would like us to look at compound interest. Compound interest, and we are going to come across the words quarterly, compounded semi-annually, compounded monthly. I'm sure you've come across these with your teachers. Let us revise on this. Look at this example, learner. What would 30,000 shillings, what would 30,000 shillings amount to after 2 years at 20% per annum, compounded quarterly? Compounded quarterly. What does this mean, learner, when you come across compounded quarterly? If that money is compounded quarterly, what does that mean? It means that 1 year is divided into 4 periods. That is the starting point. 1 year is divided into 4 parts, 4 periods. And therefore, how do you go about this? We want the amount after these 2 years, and at this rate compounded quarterly. So you use the compound interest formula. Amount is equals to principal in brackets 1 plus r over 100 raised to n. We call this the compound interest formula. Learner, this is the amount, this is the principal, this is rate, and this is the number of years or the number of periods. Now, what do we want? We want the amount, learner. This is what we want. What is the principal? The principal is 30,000. What is your R? What is your R, learner? The rate here is per annum, but compounded quarterly. Per annum, 20% per annum. And then we are told compounded quarterly. So the new rate will be what? In this case, learner, we have said that 1 year is divided into 4 periods. 1 year is divided into 4 periods. And therefore, our rate, which is 20% per annum, learner, will be divided by 4. These 4 years, so that you get the rate per period. So you talk of the rate per year, which is 20, learner. Look at that. Divided by 4 periods that make up the year. And therefore, your new rate, learner, will be 5%. I hope you have got that. Remember, 1 year has been divided into 4 parts called periods, 4 periods. So if this was the rate per year, per annum, what is the rate per period? You take 20 divided by 4. 20 divided by 4. So 5%. So this is your new rate. Now, learner, we go to what? We go to N. What is your N? What is your N? Your N is, you talk of 1 year is divided into 4 periods. This has to be in mind. And our money is taking 2 years. Our money is taking 2 years. And therefore, you come and say, if 1 year is 4 periods, what about 2 years, learner? 2 years, learner, you cross multiply, you get 8 periods. And therefore, your N is 8. Your N is 8. And your R is 5%. So, you come now and substitute all this in your formula here, the compound interest formula. So, amount, in our case, therefore, will be equal to our principal, which is 30,000. 1 plus our rate is 5% per period. 5% per period. And how many how many periods are these? 8. The N is 8. So you work out this amount is equals to 30,000, learner. You work out this, you get 1 plus 0.05 raised to 8. And therefore amount is 30,000. 1.05, you put that together, raised to 8. From here, learner, you just use a calculator. Key in this in a calculator, and therefore you should get 44327 323 and 70 cents. That will be the amount of money after 2 years. I hope you've understood. The tricky part is this, to do with the new rate and the N. But I hope you have understood. Look at this. Suppose we were told that it was compounded semi-annually. Here it was quarterly. Compounded semi-annually. Semi means a half. Half of something. And therefore, when you hear of compounded semi-annually, it means that 1 year is divided into 2 parts. 2 equal parts, which we call periods. So in this case, 1 year is equals to 2 periods. So what would be the amount, Lana? Again, you write the formula of compound interest. Remember, we are using the same question here, but now I want you to understand this term there. So if that is your formula, what is the amount? This is what we want. What is the principal? Again, it is 30,000, Lana. What is our rate this time? The rate per year was 20%, but now it is divided into how many parts? Into periods, into 2 periods, and therefore you divide by 2. This is the rate per year, and therefore you divide by the 2 periods so that you get the rate per period. The rate per period, Lana, will be 10%, and that is our new R. 1 year is divided into 2 periods, so the rate per year will be divided by 2 periods to get the rate per period, Lana. Then what is your N? The number of periods. What will it be? Again, you come and say 1 year is divided into 2 periods. Semi-annually means that 1 year is divided into 2 periods. So what about our 2 years, Lana? We are referring to the same question, 2 years. 2 years, therefore, you would say 2 years would be equal to how many periods? You cross multiply, you get 4 periods. And therefore, your new N, the number of periods, is 4. And therefore, with that, Lana, you just come and substitute. You say, amount is equals to what? When the principal is 30,000, you substitute correctly. 1 plus our rate per period is 10%, Lana. 10% raised to how many periods? 4. Your N is 4. And therefore, Lana, you talk of amount is equals to 30,000. This is 1 plus, divide this, gives you 0.1 raised to 4. So you talk of amount is equals to 30,000. You add this, you get 1.1 raised to 4. You use a calculator, Lana. Using a calculator correctly, you should get what? 43,923. You can go and confirm with a calculator. Finally, Lana, I may not do for monthly. I had stated that we can look at this, but maybe I can explain just a little bit. If you are told monthly means what, Lana? Compounded monthly. The rate per annum is compounded monthly. It means that 1 year is equals to how many periods? 12. 1 year is made up of 12 months. 1 year, therefore, is having 12 periods, and therefore 2 years, according to our question here, would be equal to how many periods? 24 periods, and therefore that would be your N. Your N would be 24 periods, just to direct you. What about your rate, Lana? Your rate was 20% per annum per year, but now 1 year is divided into 12 periods. So what is the rate per period? Divide by 12. 20% per annum divided by 12 periods to get the rate per period, and therefore when you simplify this, you should get around 5/3%, which you can talk of 1/2/3%. This is our new rate. You then go and fix it in the compound interest formula, and you get your amount. Lana, go and practice on this. God bless you.